one of our regular commentators, Will Bowler. Good afternoon, Will. First of all, Will, what's the weather like up in Newcastle? And the going, I would imagine, pretty heavy.
Yeah, very heavy indeed, Peter. I had a chat with James Armstrong, the clerk of the course up here yesterday, and he said it was going to be like coffee out there today. Really, really hard work. Very deep and very holding as well. It's going to be an awful long way home in the Ida, that's for sure. As for the weather today, we've got a little bit of blue sky around, but it's very, very windy. It's in their faces coming up the home straight as well, so might have an effect in terms of finishes as well with that headwind up the home straight.
OK, I mean, we have focused on the 220 and 255, but that is part of our Gold Cup competition. So if anyone follows you, what's your pick in the 220 and 255, Will?
The 220 race, I'm quite keen on the bottom weight there. Great fella for Brian Hughes and Sue Smith. Yard absolutely flying. Back down in trip, I think, will definitely help today. Definitely didn't seem to stay at Leicester last time out, and back down to 2 miles should help there. I think Figaro might be outdone by this holding ground. It definitely wasn't very holding at Musselburgh last time. As for the Ida, lots you can make little bits of squeaks. So I saw Tarquinius out on the track when we arrived here yesterday. He looked in great shape, but he's a bit of an outsider, to be honest. One I was going to chuck in the mix there was Ballypatrick and Mick Shannon's together with Financial Climate. I both thought they were small each way stabs, but very wide open, as you probably already mentioned.
The fact is, I don't know if you have been watching our show, but they're the two that we come up with. So there you go, Ballypatrick and Financial Climate. There's a couple I fancy at Newcastle today, actually. I'll talk about my selections first, and we're going to yours, Will. I think bucking the trend could be Edmund Keane in the first race. What's your views on that?
Yeah, well, I certainly think Edmund Keane's a little vulnerable, and the price is probably far too short, really, for Edmund Keane. I mean, Bucking the Trend was a decent winner last time out at Fontwell in a handicap, and definitely deserves respect, that's for sure, back up to 3 miles. So Bucking the Trend would be, a fair shout to try and beat the favourite. Definitely maybe a reverse forecast with the two as well for you there, Pete. But I thought Pinerolo might be the one to beat Edmund Keane. Was really impressive at Catterick last time, again in handicap company on his first try at 3 miles. He definitely seemed to love that step up in trip that day, and I think Pinerolo might be the one to overturn Edmund Keane in the first, if there is one, that is, of course.
There's not something between you and Sue Smith, is there? Because every time you put up a selection, it's always Sue Smith's.
It's like Billy and Nigel Twiston-Davies.
Yeah.
Huh? Billy's got a love affair with Nigel Twiston-Davies.
She didn't buy you that coat, did she? In the 325, Will, there's one I really like in this race, but I'm hoping you concur. 325 Newcastle, what's your selection?
325 there, yeah. I was quite keen on the Rambling Kid here, for Nicky Hammond and Jason Maguire. This one ran really well at Wetherby last time out, behind Red Sherlock and Bonnet Vino, both pretty good horses, particularly the winner, Red Sherlock. Was only beaten 6 lengths that day. Wayne Hutchinson rode on that occasion on his first hurdle start. Up in trip today, and with the help of Jason Maguire, I think that one could cause a little bit of a turn-up in that 325. Get a buzz with that double penalty, and Panama Petrus also with having to give quite a bit of weight away to the Rambling Kids. So I was going to chance him at an each-way price at 12 or 14 to 1 with 3 places.
OK, well, let's put it this way. If you had a choice between Get a Buzz and Panama Petrus, which one would you pick?
Panama Petrus, I think I'd pick up the two. That's pretty close between them, to be honest.
Good boy. Anything else at Newcastle?
Excuse me, Pete, sorry, I missed that
I'm
one.
saying anything else at Newcastle, Will, before we get your selections?
My best selection there would be... Oh, dear. I guess the Rambling Kid will be up there.
Okay.
I think Lyric Street looks a good lay in the 355 for Jason Maguire and Donald McCain. I think he's been struggling to stay out his 2 mile trip. I think he looks a fair lay in that race on the really holding ground here today. But I didn't have anything screaming out for me, that's for sure. OK, well, before we let you go, Will, and thanks very much, you've sent us your selections and you're doing quite well in our league table, and viewers at home do take notice of your selections. So let's have your selections up for the viewers at home. Yeah, no worries. We've got a great fellow I've already mentioned in that 220 up here at Newcastle, the Susan and Brian Hughes. As I say, getting plenty of weight here today, 10 stone 3, gets at least £8 off all his other rivals today. Dropped back down in trip to 2 miles, a big plus with him. Sue Smith and Brian Hughes both in really good form, having great seasons. The Rambling Kid in the 325 for reasons I just mentioned as well. And we've got a couple elsewhere. We've got Sunnymore running at Chepstow, down in class. I thought he ran really quite well for a long way in the Welsh Champion Hurdle the first time, front side last time out, and then just got out sprinted in a messy race. I think there's a much more honest gallop to be had today. He's down in class, he's on a good mark. That's him at 2:30 at Chepstow. And the 205 race at Kempton, one I backed anti-posted to try a hurdle, Goodwood Mirage. Backed him after he won on debut at Kempton, and then ran disappointingly at Cheltenham last time out, full far too hard on heavy ground, but he's got a hood on today, so hopefully Goodwood Mirage can put himself back in the try and hurdle picture in the 205 at Kempton.
Well, thanks very much indeed. We love the photo.
Okay. Thanks so much, Peter.
We'll have a great day there. Hopefully you've picked some winners for today, and look forward to having you back in the studio in a couple of weeks' time.
All right, thank you very much, Peter. I'll see you soon.
You take care. Thanks very much indeed.
All right, cheers. Bye.